Mago kids, welcome back. Time for another story, and we're going to be continuing off after our last one where Israel and Judah fell, went into captivity and all those kind of pieces. We got a story coming up a little bit after that in timeline. But first, how are your acts of kindness going? Awesome! Awesome! Man, I just love knowing that there are so many kids out there doing acts of kindness in their families, for their neighbors, for the friends, for the grandmas and grandpas. There's just kindness all over the place, maybe even strangers. I don't know what you guys are doing. I want to hear reports of them, so have your parents send me the info on what you're doing, and I want to share that with other kids so you guys can inspire other kids to do more and more acts of kindness. It's not just acts of kindness that are being shown. Do you guys know who else is being seen when you guys do those acts of kindness? That's right, Jesus. Jesus is seen in our kindness. And so when you guys are being kind, it's also just really nice, but also people get to see Jesus, and that's the coolest part about it. So I love that you guys are doing them. Keep racing to 100. We got an awesome prize waiting for the first kid who gets there, and we'll also maybe let them be, we'll show that video on this channel, and then you can be famous on our Amalgo Kids channel. But we got a couple birthdays too. Andy, your birthday's today. Awesome. Well, happy birthday, Andy, if you're watching it. If you're watching it a couple days later, that's okay too. And Hudson and Cheyenne, you guys have birthdays coming up tomorrow. And so happy birthday to all three of you. You guys are all triple awesome, fantastic, wonderful, magnificent, all those things. And I know you're going to have a fantastic time. And hopefully you get some cake. Maybe save a piece for me. Well, maybe not. You can have my piece because probably by the time I get to see you again, that cake may be kind of rotten. So why don't you have an extra piece of cake for me? Sounds good. Well, happy birthday, guys. Let's jump right into our story. Today's a story about a queen. Do you guys know any queens? Not Queen Elizabeth. No, not her. No, we've got a story about a lady named Queen Esther. Queen Esther. It's an awesome story. Kind of scary, though. Maybe we should get in it together and we'll read it. So let's jump over to our other camera. Here's our Laugh and Learn Bible for kids. Let's pull it right open. Here's a little tag. Bam! The brave Queen Esther. Look at that cool picture of maybe how she could have looked. Pretty cool. All right. Well, a long time after King Cyrus had died, we didn't read the story about King Cyrus, but anyways, a long time after King Cyrus had died, his grandson Xerxes became king. Xerxes was also called Ahasuerus. I'm not too good at all these Bible names, which sounds like the name for a dinosaur. So we'll just call him Xerxes. That's a pretty funny name on its own. Can you guys say Xerxes? 1, 2, 3. Xerxes. Awesome. Let's jump back into it. So, Xerxes was not as good of a king as Cyrus. He wasn't as smart or as wise as Cyrus. And he had a bad temper. Do you guys know anybody who has a bad temper? Yeah? I think we all do. Hopefully you didn't say you. Well, you know what? We probably all have a bad temper at some times. Even I have a bad temper sometimes. But I think I'm working on it. But this guy seemed to have a bad temper a lot. So he had a bad temper. Xerxes had a wife named Vashti, who was very beautiful. Xerxes wanted to show his beautiful wife off to his friends at a party one night, but Vashti wouldn't come out of her room. "Come out," Xerxes said. "No," Vashti told him. This made Xerxes angry. So angry that he threw the queen Vashti out of his palace and said she wasn't queen anymore. Yep, Xerxes had a bad temper, all right. Xerxes' friend says, "You need a new queen, an even better queen." Xerxes searched throughout the Persian Empire for the best queen of all. And Xerxes found Esther. Esther was an orphan. She had no mother or father. Esther lived with her cousin Mordecai, who worked for King Xerxes at his palace. But more important, Esther was a Jew. What's a Jew? Do you guys know? Do you guys know what somebody who's Jewish is? Most of you said no, that's okay. A Jewish person is somebody who is one of the Israelites, who is following after God. It's just another name for the people, the Israelites that we've been talking about, the group of people that came from Abraham following after God. So, God's people were called the Israelites because they were the children of Israel. After Israel split in two, the southern half was called Judah, and people from Judah ended up living in the Persian Empire, and they were called Jews. There you go. King Xerxes didn't know Esther was a Jew. He just knew she was very pretty and very, very kind. The king liked Esther so much, he made her the new queen. Then things got complicated. Don't want to go too far. That's 2 pages at once. Here we go. King Xerxes had a friend named Haman. Haman didn't like Jews at all. Haman especially didn't like Esther's cousin Mordecai because Mordecai wouldn't bow down to Haman. Have you ever met someone who wanted to be the boss of everyone? Have you guys ever met somebody who wanted to be the boss of everyone? I heard some of you say your big brother or sister. Though big brothers and sisters sometimes do like to be the boss. I know because I am a big brother. So it can happen sometimes. But I think we all know somebody who wants to be the boss of everything. Haman was that kind of person. Like Xerxes, Haman had a bad temper. Man, 2 friends with bad tempers. That doesn't make for a good situation. Over and over, he demanded that Mordecai bow down to him. And over, Mordecai refused. Finally, Haman was so angry, he wanted to kill Mordecai. Then Haman had an even worse idea. Why kill only Mordecai? Why not kill all the Jews in Persia? Haman lied and told King Xerxes that Jews were troublemakers, that the Persian Empire would be better if there were no Jews at all. King Xerxes trusted Haman. So the king signed a paper announcing that all Jews would be killed. He hung the paper outside his palace where Mordecai worked. Mordecai couldn't believe his eyes. "Esther," Mordecai called, "you have to go talk to the king." Esther was terrified. No one talked to the king without being invited. If you even walked into the king's room without an invitation, you could be killed, even if you were the queen. But Mordecai said, "Esther, you can save your people. Maybe this is why you became queen." So Esther gathered her courage and walked into the king's room. She waited to see if the guards would grab her, but King Xerxes says, "Let her talk to me." Esther invited the king to a banquet, and at that banquet, she invited him to another one. By the second meal, Esther had gathered enough courage to tell the king about Haman's plan. "Someone's going to kill my whole family and me," she said. King Xerxes was very angry. "Who would try to kill his queen?" Esther pointed to Haman. She said, "Haman plans to kill all the Jews, and I am a Jew." King Xerxes was furious. "Whatever you were going to do to the Jews," he said, "will be done to you." And that was the last time anyone had to worry about Haman. God used the bravery of Esther, an orphan girl who became a queen, to save the children of Israel. Now, I don't think the King Xerxes' attitude changed very much. I don't think that God wants us to get angry at somebody because they did something wrong too. I think he wants us to be able to forgive all people. But at the same time, Queen Esther was incredibly brave. She didn't know what was going to happen when she went and talked to the king, but she did it anyways, because she needed to protect other people. We see this really clearly in Jesus. Jesus comes and he lives here with us, and what he does is he gives his life for us. And anytime that we see somebody giving their life for other people, we see Jesus in that. And I see Jesus in how Esther was acting. How she came and she was brave. She risked everything of hers so she could maybe save other people. It was really brave. Here's our everyday truth to sum all of this up. When I follow God, he leads me to do great things right here, right now. Whenever you guys want to know how to do what's right, we think about Jesus. Remember, we've talked about this one too. That the Bible tells us that if any of us lacks wisdom, do you remember what wisdom is? The ability to make right choices. That's right. If any of us lacks wisdom, we should ask for it, and God will give it to us. So following God helps us know how to live right and to make the right choices, do the right thing right here, right now. So here's our first question. Why do you think God allowed Esther to become queen during this time? Why do you guys think that God allowed Esther to be queen at this time? Yeah. Those are all great answers. I think God knows everything. He knew that Mordecai had not Mordecai, sorry, King Xerxes had a really bad temper. I think we also know that he needed the right person to talk to him. We know that he thought Esther was really beautiful, so maybe he would listen to her. I think God put the right person in the right place at the right time to do what was right. It's like God knows what he's doing or something. God put Esther there so that the people of Israel could be protected. And that's why I think God put Queen Esther there at that time. What is the best thing about being where you are at right now? This Bible, this Laugh and Learn Kids Bible was written long before the days of coronavirus. But here's the thing. I think that's a really important question right now. The world doesn't look how we want it to. We miss a lot of things right now, and it can be really frustrating and really tough. But this question of what's the best thing about being where we are right now, right in the midst of coronavirus, stuck at home, maybe missing things, what's the best thing about being here right now? Yeah. I love those. Those are some great answers. I think you guys have already been learning a little bit of it. Doing all your acts of kindness, I think that's one of the best things that we can be doing right now. Using our time to show kindness to other people. Maybe it's to love and be with your family. Maybe there's lots of things that are going on right now. But I think, like Esther, one of the best things we can do, even in tough situations, maybe especially in tough situations, is give our lives to others. Give our time, our energy, our money maybe even, to others, to help others. Esther was super brave to risk her life, to let others be saved. And I think we can do the same thing. In the midst of all this, there's a way that things have been talked about. It's like we're a light on a hill. Jesus talked about that. And a light hidden under a bush or hidden underneath something doesn't get seen very far. But if you put a light all the way up really high, maybe you've even seen an airplane fly over at night, you can see a light so far away when it's up high. I think right now, when everybody feels a little bit frustrated, everybody feels maybe a little bit scared, the world doesn't seem how it should. When we act like Jesus' light in the world, we can show him to everybody else. And we know that when we do that, we show his love, his joy, his peace, his kindness to everyone around us. So one of the best things we can do right now is show Jesus to others by how we act. Let's do our prayer. I'll grab our Bible here. You guys can say this after me. Dear God, we are honored to be a part of your plan. Right now, right where we are. Show us ways that we can serve you and others. Amen. Awesome. Well, thanks, Imago kids. Look forward to next week. We'll have another science experiment and another Bible story for you. We'll see you then.